So I want to introduce our next speaker, Deborah Yungner. We're delighted to have her here. She is the CEO, founder, and chief visioneer. Do we have any other chief visioneers in the room? I think she might be the only one. She works at Urbis LifeGrid Technologies. She is the inventor and patent holder of the first mobile utility shelter system, which has received an unprecedented number of business, technology, and innovation awards throughout the world, including Best U.S. Technology, the Minnesota Cup, and Women Inventor of the Year. Deborah saw the need to develop and invent a versatile, flexible, and easily adaptable field utility backup solution while visiting Panama in the early 1990s to assess critical infrastructure and water quality issues. The worldwide patented technology of Urbis was conceived as humanitarian technology to bring immediate access to life-saving and life-sustaining utilities to people throughout the world. Deborah is passionate about bringing the innovation of Urbis to organizations like Rotary to provide increased capabilities to meet the expanded needs, challenges and threats to the 21st century global communities, whether natural, man-made, terrorism, or pandemic. Deborah's extensive track record of professional accomplishments and of success over the past 2 decades have been in sales, marketing, and business development for small to Fortune 5,000 companies in the technology, healthcare, and education marketplace. Deborah's expertise includes developing, designing, and launching new business programs, products, services, marketing, branding, and media to help businesses and their leadership team innovate and grow. Deborah grew up in St. Paul and resides in Eagan. She and her husband Steve have 3 children and 2 grandchildren. Deborah's current community involvement and board work contributions include the Greater Twin Cities YMCA Youth and Government State Board, Impact Live Student Service Learning Board, and inspiring young women and girls into public service and STEM careers through her work and role as Mrs. Eagan International, Mrs. Minnesota People's Choice 2014. Deborah will share her personal and professional testimony around the work, awards, and recognition she has received, and how her personal values, leadership, visioneering, mission, and passion aligns into building the business and technology of Urbis. Deborah shares the stage with her 2 business interns, Michael Doyle and James Farnsworth, representing next generation leaders and learners to help you better understand and envision what is ahead of us and our need to actively engage with the next generation career force and workforce leaders to begin planning for your business, future growth, and success. Before I bring Deborah up, I'd like to call your attention to the screen to watch a short video on the invention of Urbis that was featured on KARE 11 and has won the Showcase Technology title for the 53rd Minnesota Inventors Congress.
Come up with a potentially life-saving invention. Well, it's already getting a lot of attention. It's about to get a whole lot more. Here's Carolyn's Mr. Mulvey to explain why.
At the end of a long parking lot at Northern Power Products in Eagan, this unassuming trailer doesn't seem out of place, but open up a few doors. And in just minutes, simplicity blossoms into a potentially life-saving device. It's called Urbis, Emergency Response Backup Utility Systems, a kind of mobile emergency response unit, the brainchild of Minnesota inventor Deborah Yungner.
An all-in-one Swiss Army knife approach to bringing critical life-saving technologies to the site to aid first responders.
Standing alone, Urbis can provide power for a small building, even a city block. It comes equipped with gear for first responders and can take a bucket of dirty water and make it clear.
Think of it as a portable water treatment plant.
Deborah's background is in engineering and business development. Several years ago, a trip to Panama inspired her to find a way to help developing countries that don't have basic infrastructure. The idea became a prototype and then a real product with not only the ability to provide backup infrastructure, but to play a critical role in disaster zones.
We hope it inspires people to think outside the box.
Urbis will be featured in an upcoming show hosted by the Minnesota Inventors Congress, hoping to follow in the footsteps of other creative Minnesotans. Remember the pop-up camper, life jacket, and of course, this? Well, now Urbis is all about innovation and inspiration.
So the impact that an inventor has on society is absolutely wonderful, and creativity and innovation are the driving force in our economy.
And the Urbis has already been sold to customers in New York and Texas. You can see the Urbis and all kinds of interesting inventions next month at the Invention and Ideas Show in Redwood Falls. And for more information, you can certainly log on to our website at carol11.com.
That is cool. Thank you, Tricia.
Wow. Well, thank you, everyone, and thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the student scholarships. Woman Inventor of the Year. My first thought when receiving Woman Inventor of the Year was, oh my gosh. And I had to pray and give thanks. I said, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus, we did it. We did it. And I'm going to say that even though we're Friday today, I think after we're done, you're going to really get to know me, and it's going to feel like it's Sunday, and you might be in church. Then they were calling me back to the stage 7 more times throughout the course of the evening. 2 gold medals, 1 bronze medal, social innovation, best humanitarian technology. Sorry, I gotta work this thing. Oh. Sorry. Okay. Best humanitarian technology, the Taipei Award for Family Quality Life and Living. And as we're nearing the end of the awards program, the last 2 prestigious awards, an invitation valued at $5,000 to attend a startup boot camp to pitch in LA to investors. And going to that boot camp was amazing, and we landed an investor, and we were on our way. The Top Show Award of $5,000 also was awarded to us, and it accompanied the Grand Prix Best U.S. and International Technology, where we bested over 1,000 innovations representing 20 countries. Well, we made Minnesota very proud and brought home 8 innovation awards, including making history of being the first company in the show's 21-year history of receiving multiple awards. And there has not been another company since. This came along with a beautiful glass, plaques, medals and crystals that you see on the slide, along with Governor Pelletti's Minnesota Cup Finalist Award, where we bested top 5 out of 400 Minnesota businesses competing in the next breakthrough idea, as well as Finance and Commerce's Innovator of the Year, Business Journal's Top Woman Minority Business, to name a few others. We're probably one of the highest awarded, recognized technology and startups in the history, if not the, before bringing a product to market. How in the world did I get here? So now you're going to really get to know me. I'm really here because of you. You have been my inspiration. So know that I've been thinking about you since the day I started creating Urbis, and that you have been a part of my God-honoring vision and daily prayers. We are friends at the table because you matter to me. In my playbook of life, all roads lead back to you. My love for people, life, God, country, and duty. And I get a little emotional about this, as I'm very passionate. This is essentially what the Urbis technology represents and all the recognition that it has received. They are a constant reminder of the show of support from the many who have helped us and the importance of this technology being successful and making it so we may offer it to serve people everywhere to help save and sustain life. I am humbled by these awards and recognize they represent the many people who want to get behind this technology for their community. And I'm honored to be a servant. And all those roads of how I got to this place and mindset include family. I came from a family of firsts. Up on the screen is a picture of my family, the Young family. By the way, I was a Young before I became a Yungner. Drop the O and added N-E-R. I remember asking my husband if I could keep my hyphenated last name to be Yungner because I thought it had a nice, cool star power ring to it. He obviously said no, but I got to keep my initials. In the picture, you'll see my mother, my beautiful Japanese mother holding me. Mom's bloodline descends from samurai royalty and comes from a family of innovators in Japan. She is the first of her family to leave Japan and come abroad to outside of Japan. My handsome Chinese father had a military career that spanned over 20 years in Air Force, National Guard, and Army Reserves. My father was also a chef and opened up many of the well-recognized Chinese restaurants in Minnesota. Both Mom and Dad were pioneers and innovators in their own right, leaving their homeland to make a new life and history in a new country. Grandpa Henry was an innovator and pioneered Chinese restaurant cuisine in St. Paul, establishing the first Chinese restaurant and buffet in the city. My older sister Jeannie, who's just underneath my mother's arm, she was the first Dear Abby in the St. Paul Asian Community newspaper. My older brother Gary was the first to travel worldwide and then move out of the state of Minnesota. He's a Navy veteran, and my younger brother Glenn, who is not in that picture, he's probably in Mom's tummy or a twinkle in her eye, but he is standing next to my father on that picture to the left. My little brother Glenn is an Air Force colonel and just recently retired in September after 30 years of service, where his last few years of service was spent leading the command over several major U.S. and global disasters. He currently is a mechanical engineer and one of the top environmental engineers in the state of California. Grandma Julie is sitting in the middle and was instrumental in the reason why the family is here in Minnesota. We always give thanks to the special Catholic nuns from the College of St. Kate's as they help reunite Grandma Julie and Dad with Grandpa here in Minnesota. Grandmother was a very devoted Catholic, and I'm first generation born in Minnesota along with my two brothers. So between my father, my two brothers, and myself, we've served over 50 years in military service from both private and public sector work. I should probably mention to you as well that I got to this place of love of people and life, entrepreneurship, and a mission mindset was not only how God wired me and is part of my family DNA, but my father made me type hundreds of times to perfect my typing skills. Now is the time for all good men and women to come to the aid of their country. And lectured me many times on JFK's famous words, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. So it's no wonder and no surprise that I have the same service above self-commitment as Rotary. Service above self draws me to Urbis and Rotary, to wanting to partner to help innovate Rotary's global water projects to 21st century advanced solutions for not only providing water purification throughout the world, but to also equip and provide for mobile portable facilities to support disaster response relief, community gatherings, medical, especially threats of outbreak and Ebola. This is the Urbis stage at the International New Product Exposition in Pittsburgh, where we won Best U.S. Technology. As the news clip described, Urbis integrates best-in-class modules and components of power, water, HVAC, communications, and shelter in one Swiss Army knife, and can be utilized for multi-purpose operations staging centers, relief, medical, training, instructional, critical infrastructure ready before you need it. We have got to get better prepared. With the increase in disasters and its complexities, frequency, and scale, we have all got to be prepared to start thinking with a forward, innovative mindset, taking into consideration an integrated approach as the Urbis innovation to achieving greater efficiency, success, and outcomes. Out of one, many, e pluribus unum. I've gotten here because I have followed my heart and have integrated my love for people and life into work I do. When you follow your heart and do what you love, you can't help but become passionate and unstoppable. I always say, do the right thing, success follows. And I've also been known to say, what you do when you don't have to will determine what you will be when you can't help it. And that's all been a part of getting here. Urbis is heart and soul and purpose-driven. We're putting the soul behind the steel to help you save lives and making a path for those lives to be saved so that none shall perish. Urbis integrates not only best-of-class technology component, it integrates people and life, which represents my life's work in business and ministry. It also represents a huge killer social innovation business for us to do well by doing good. So that as a for-profit corporation with a capitalistic approach to philanthropy, we can plan social capital to organizations like the Rotary to continue to partner and serve with social purposes for the betterment and greater good, while all helping communities during times of crisis. For the workforce, career force, and education, Urbis represents a multitude of STEM technologies, industries, skills and trade, internships, apprenticeships, and jobs. And as a woman minority business, Urbis represents the opportunity to inspire women, girls, and diversity into non-traditional fields and industry careers. We have got to prepare our people, women and girls, diverse population with the proper education tools, skills, and access. As many of you may have surmised, the work of Urbis' business and technology is so important and critical to everyone, everywhere, not only for defense, safety, and security, but in a number of ways and on a number of levels if we are to grow to become a strong, secure nation and future. We have got to get Urbis to the marketplace. As an innovative thought leader, our business leadership model includes many forward-thinking strategic leadership initiatives. That we are working internally and externally on to modeling our business, technology, and brand. Transformational leadership, change management, character development, humanitarian, diversity, health, and wellness. We need to start seeing things, really look at things and how they work and how they are related. Connect the dots, see the possibilities. Move beyond status quo and make sure to look at your toolbox and get rid of what is old. Everything works in a system and it is all connected. People, process, and platform. All connected and must be connected harmoniously to leverage and optimize performance and success, just as you might look at your mind, body, spirit to achieve and optimize your health success. If you are not seeing things this way as leaders for yourself on the business and personal front, in your organization, community life, you are missing a key ingredient to understanding the secret sauce to achieving personal and professional success. Excellence in performance, optimization, innovation, and unlocking latent potential. Innovative companies take on this approach in its business practice, technology, process, and platform. One thought that I would like to leave you and vision with you is the recognition of health and wellness. As a baby boomer, we are at that place in life and time where we need to own our health. Take care of yourself and invest in you and your organization's culture and workplace, especially baby boomers. We've got another 10 years of service, give or take, to be productive before this next generation of leaders and learners take over our work and position. It is critical to be mindful, forward-thinking, proactive, and relevant in this age of fit bands, health apps, rapid expansions of health and wellness programs, facilities, and changing healthcare legislation. Baby boomers need to carry the business and economy and make the greatest impact they can over the next 10 years to setting up the organization and a healthy culture that can thrive and meet the needs and mindset of our next generation. As a business visionary, I hope to inspire you to look or consider things differently for yourself and your organization. So you probably know me pretty well by now and how I'm wired. My mission, vision, and passion in life is to make a positive difference by living joyfully and lovingly, as I know God wired me to love and care about you, people, and life. I want people to succeed. I want projects to succeed, especially if their value contributes to the betterment and greater good. I want our children to succeed, businesses, communities, and this great nation to succeed. This all matters. It's amazing how my professional and personal background, training, skills, beliefs, experience, and many God moments coalesce and point to my work with Urbis. I know it's meant to be perfectly planned and what God has intended. God has perfected a plan that He has to design for each one of us, and evidenced by His famous words in Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plan to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Friends, you You're here for something greater than what you might realize now. We all have the seeds of accomplishments within us. Grow in your head, heart, and hands. Grow in humility and character. Grow in relationships with others. Grow in a hand of service. I am blessed to have Michael Doyle and James Farnsworth presenting their piece on millennials and Gen Z to better help you understand what drives our next generation of leaders and learners. And by the way, Gen Z is those that are entering kindergarten and those that are beginning to enter college. Michael Doyle is an intern for Urbis. He is a student in nanoscience technology and manufacturing engineering technology, fleet data manager at the Star Tribune, leader in advocating for students in higher education at the state and national Capitol Hill, gold medalist in entrepreneurship, and silver medalist in engineering technology design at Skills USA Nationals. James Farnsworth is a junior at Highland Park Senior High School in St. Paul. He enrolled in a mixture of IB and PSEO classes, which are pre-college, still getting those college credits, with plans to attend a college for politics, media, and communication. When not at school, James works as a social media consultant and is involved in all sorts of clubs and organizations. He's most proud of his work on the Minnesota YMCA Youth and Government Board of Directors, an organization he's been involved with since the 8th grade. James, as I said, serves as an intern on the Urbis advisory team, and James and I both share a seat on the State Board for Youth and Government.
I'd just like to point out one of the key synonyms of leadership, which is influence. Influence, as John Maxwell would say, is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And I wanted to point out that the most powerful leader in society doesn't push or pull its followers, but it attracts and it makes a positive influence by acting as a adder or a multiplier of people instead of a subtractor or divider of people. On this slide, I wanted to point out the skills and trade piece on the left, internships and apprenticeships specifically. As a senior in manufacturing engineering technology, I'm looking for internships and apprenticeships. And apprenticeships are less known in our society. Our national government supports apprenticeships, but in Germany, apprenticeships are more powerful than internships. Apprenticeships, you work alongside an expert in a company, and you learn what it is that you're interested in, and what it is that you want to pursue in life, whereas an internship, it's more of a try-it-out job to see if that job is a fit for you or not. And then I wanted to speak on K through 16 a little bit. As far as education, I guess in my experience, K through 16 really prepares you for the workforce by applying what you learn, not just the grades or the tests.
And continuing on in this little web here, I wanted to highlight the youth and government piece, and as Deborah kind of talked about, that's our connection, and that's how we met fairly recently. So youth and government is a transformational leadership program under the umbrella of the Greater Twin Cities YMCA. And they host 3 conferences throughout the year, and it really teaches youth leadership, character building, and how the government works. And I think something that I've got out of it is the networking piece, actually. I think that it's important for people my age to even start networking now and even younger, because I think it's something we don't think is important, and that, you think of networking as something that will come down the line, something that, you don't need to do because you're just working at the ice cream shop. It's not like you're working, advancing your career anyway. So I think that's something that youth and government really teaches. It shows cooperative leadership, working together to solve problems that face all Minnesotans, and how to make priorities versus what the need of the public is. And I think it's a program that's not based on political parties, it's nonpartisan, but it's looking at next generation leadership and how through teaching about government structure, we as students can become better and more well-informed citizens.
I wanted to speak about the millennial generation, my generation, and just point out what it says under demographics on the right. We're the first generation to not need approval to access information. And I think my generation prizes this information and knowledge. We also prize learning by doing and applying what we learn. There was a study by Harvard where they took a test at Arizona State University, and the 4.0 students actually failed applying knowledge. So the Harvard instructor changed the way that he taught from lecture-based to more applied learning.
I know this might be a little small from the back, so I'm just going to highlight just a few things about Generation Z, which was born in 1995 through 2009. And looking up in the top left corner, it talks about mobility. And this was an infographic that was created by McCrindle, which is a strategic research firm in Australia, about Generation Z. And I mean, I'm a part of this generation, but it kind of highlights things that I've never really thought about. So looking at mobility, people in my generation are going to have 17 jobs and 15 homes in our lifetime, which is quite a shocking amount of relocation of community and family, which was pretty surprising to me. Going down to education, 1 in 2 of us will be university educated. And then the last thing I wanted to highlight really strong is over in the top right corner, talking about effective engagement. So generations now in education, it's more verbal-based lecture, more sit and listen. It's teacher kind of coming from the front, lecture-based learning, as Michael was just talking about, curriculum-centered and closed-book exams, as opposed to kind of what we're more into, and definitely me, as somebody who goes and sits at a desk and listens to somebody talk all day long. It's actually rather exhausting. Is more visual learning, more try and see, kind of having a facilitator instead of a teacher, learning about the process of how something works as opposed to what the content is and just reading out the book. More learner-centric, and we're more in an open book world. And I think that's something that I really want to continue to talk about and emphasize is how to engage, especially in education, with people of my generation.
I guess our time is up, so thank you so much.